It's a pleasure to be hosting the daily news review program this morning on Women Radio 91.7 FM. The voice of women, Nigeria's first and only radio station for women and their families. My name is Fumi Bangala, and I'm so happy to be here this morning. You already know that we run through the headlines this morning from the different dailies, and then we go ahead to tackle the ones that have caught our eye this morning with our analyst who will be joining us shortly, Emmanuel Olonade. Okay. Yeah, so look, we're just going to get right into it. But before then, how are you? How was your weekend? Hope you're fine. The weather today, the weather forecast for today says that it might rain a little bit this morning. So you want to make sure that as you are going about, maybe you carry a sweater. You shall make sure that you're safe, you're warm, you carry an umbrella. If you're driving, why not? I don't know why I'm telling you what to do in your car, but you get what I'm trying to say. Just make sure that you are safe, you are I think we've entered raining season. That's just what it is, and I'm glad for it. The only part I'm not glad for is that if you have a what they call that thing, if you're washing, it means that your clothes will not dry on time. But I mean, what's that doesn't matter. Doesn't matter though. It doesn't matter. But because we have tried, okay, let's just get right into the headlines for this morning. Starting off with the Punch newspaper. We have from the Punch newspaper, airlines risk disruptions as NCAA enforces debt sanctions. Also on the Punch newspaper, we have Nigeria prepares for possible Ebola outbreak, says the NCDC. We had started seeing the sightings about this about last week, 2 weeks ago. And to be fair, the NCDC and they've been working. They've been working. They've been going over and beyond. If there's anything that our medical practitioners will do, is that they will work. They will go beyond, right, to work, and that's what they've been doing. But that being said, please make sure that you're safe regardless. If you're planning to travel outside the country, take every safety precaution that you need to take before you travel and when you're coming back. Okay. And if they tell you to stop, that you're coming from a country that is Ebola, that there's Ebola there, is right for Ebola. Please just listen to them at the airport. Okay, moving on to the Guardian newspaper, we have Tinubu's borrowing in 24 months surpasses 55 years debt record. Jesus Shano. Moving on, we have 2027. Tinubu accepts APC's mandate to run for second term, insists reforms irreversible. We shall get into that this morning. Over the weekend, the primaries happened, so we'll get into that. In the This Day newspaper, we have Abdulrazak state stopped borrowing to pay salaries due to federal government's reforms. That's from the This Day newspaper. We also have Tinubu extends hand of friendship to critics, says cooperation in nation six, beg your pardon, cooperation in nations' interest. Those are the headlines from the This Day newspaper. Okay, moving on to the Vanguard, we have police rejects 500 million naira bribe, sees suspected Canadian loud worth 7.8 billion naira. Yeah. Also on that newspaper, the Vanguard 2027, 31 APC governors endorsed Tinubu with 10.99 million votes. I was like, where did they see all these votes? Because the last time I checked, really? I was surprised though, because I not really see anybody going out to vote over the weekend. I saw movements, a little bit of movement, like people. I saw banners and stuff like that, but I didn't see people voting. So I thought that was interesting. Okay, moving on to the Daily Trust this morning. We have APC primaries. Governors outdo one another as Tinubu nets over 10 million 10 million votes. Still on the primaries, the presidential primaries over the weekend. ADC presidential primaries. Atiku, Amechi, Hayatuddin battle for tickets. Those are the headlines from the Daily Trust. Moving on to the Premium Times newspaper, we have ADC faction dissolves David Mark led NWC. That's I think these two parties, PDP and ADC. I find what's going on with them very, 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 very interesting. Okay, still on the Premium Times newspaper, we have two men who allegedly raped and beheaded a female nursing student are arrested. This one we're going to be dealing with on her lens this morning at 9:05. So you want to stick around if, in case you want to call us. Also, we have police arrest man. Moving on to the cable newspaper, police arrest man for staging fake bandit attack video to gain TikTok followers. The upsetness that I had when I saw this, because I was like, what do you mean you are faking TikTok banditry attack on TikTok? Are you out of your mind? Because why would you, with what is going on in Nigeria, you are faking that? And here's the thing: you move ahead to arrest him, but then the people that are actually responsible for these things, you're not moving to arrest them. It's just very, very somehow. It's somehow. Okay. That's from the cable newspaper. Also on the cable newspaper, we have, beg your pardon, lost that. Malami secures ADC governorship ticket in Kebbi State. Moving on to the Tribune newspaper, we have Amatekun arrests 98 suspects, uncovers fake lunatic linked to crime in Ondo State. Also on the Tribune newspaper, we have 2027 Sokoto ADC members back Atiku as presidential candidate. Okay, okay, okay. Moving on to the pen pushing newspaper. Give me a second to see if our analyst has joined us this morning. Not yet. He has. He has. He has. Okay. Moving on to the still on the no, oh no, pen pushing newspaper. We have suspected assailant beheads female nursing student, like I mentioned earlier. Also on the pen pushing newspaper, we have terrorist request to speak with Governor Makinde as condition to address plights of kidnapped students. Ah, okay. Moving on to the Nation newspaper, we have Ogun State distributes operational vehicles to 20 permanent secretaries. You know, I personally have a problem when government officials are given vehicles, because I'm like, if you really, really check what is going on in that state, they need a lot of help in that state. Things need to be done in that state. So when you're giving them vehicles, I'm like, oh, what are you doing? What are you doing? Okay. Ondo South set to elect first female senator as Akindele heads for by-election victory. Those are the headlines from the Nation newspaper. On the Tribune newspaper, oh, we have done the Tribune newspaper this morning. On the Daily Post, we have fear in Lagos, other areas as terrorists infiltrate Southwest. Quite a few people have been speaking up about, this happening, the terrorism and abductions in the Southwest. And it's not, and no shade or no disrespect to the North, is that all of us collectively in all the regions, like from the looks of things, nobody is safe. So if they can get to the Southwest, which typically should be more protected in a way, and I said that very, very carefully, than Kilo Tuku. Lastly, on the Daily Post 2027 election, Wiki an appointee. I have no business with him. FCT senatorial aspirant Aisha Yeshufu says. So those are the headlines this morning from the national dailies this morning. You want to do well to get you a copy, and better still, stick around with us as we tackle the ones that caught our eye. Joining us is our analyst for this morning, Emmanuel Olonade. Hi, Emmanuel. Good morning.
Hi, from me. Good morning, and another beautiful week. Well, I guess you really, really had a great weekend, and good to be, good to be here again this beautiful Monday morning.
I sort of did. I went for a massage on Saturday. Somebody
Yeah.
gifted me a spa voucher.
Well, that's one of the beauty of being a good housewife, and in the spirit of not
Just such
London
as
being
that.
red.
It's not my husband that gifted me.
Everything has to be in the spirit of not London being red, because if if there's nothing like North London forever, whatever the weather, the streets will always be our own. That is why you're enjoying at this period. So I
I
think you
beg,
should
you
thank
person
an
gifted
Arsenal
me
fan.
post birthday gifts. I beg. Has
It's
nothing
just
to do with us.
everything is in the spirit of North London being red, because see,
Has nothing to do with
people are
Arsenal.
getting favor, people are getting a lot of things right now. You should ask yourself, when was your birthday? Why is it falling at this period? You should ask yourself.
Go.
And many more still to come for you lovers and you supporters of us on Saturday.
Female on Saturday. Emmanuel, are you an Arsenal fan?
Well, I've been since 2001, so
What day, my guy?
mm,
I sent you congratulations on Sunday. I'm sorry, I should have. I didn't know you're an Arsenal fan, but yes, on Sunday we hope to see me saying we like I know I didn't even know who they played yesterday. By virtue of marriage, we hope that we are we win the Champions League right on Saturday 30th. If we
definitely.
win, not if when we win this cup, nobody will be able to talk to us again. Let's just leave it that way. Okay, let's get into it this morning. Imano, over the weekend, primaries happened in Lagos, in Nigeria, and I was quite amused by the fact that President Tinubu, he got over 10 million votes, and I was like, okay, like who was out there voting. And to be honest, when I saw it, it made me worry a bit for the elections next year. And that's not to say that I think any hanky panky was done. That's not what I'm saying at all. Please don't misquote me if you are listening to me. It was just a case of I just worry about the elections for 2027 because even ADC, there's been so much tension there. There's so much strife there. There was a bit of violence reported over the weekend. Senator, I don't know if you saw that Senator King, Ireti Kingibe allegedly came out to say that, is it Ali? Yeah, she was attacked and all of that. I went to read, but I didn't really see anything I didn't see any corroborating report. All I saw was what she said, and that's not to say that she didn't say what she said wasn't the truth or not, because at no point should anybody's life be at stake. At no point should there be violence, right? But it makes me worry greatly about the elections come 2027. Before you go ahead, we are live on YouTube at WFM 917, and you can listen to us on the go via our website www.wfm917.com, and the phone lines will be open shortly, but you can send your text messages, WhatsApp messages, and voice notes to 0703 1756 537 or 08155 917 917. Okay, Ivana, what say you? Because it's a bit, for me, just listening, seeing what happened, even within the APC, people are like, oh no, I don't agree with this result. Even within the APC, what does that really mean? And should we be worried, even more worried, come 2027?
Well, you're seeing numbers now, and I think this is just the beginning of you seeing numbers.
Mm-hmm.
The ADC are having their presidential primaries today, and also looking at the numbers they are going to file out. The APC claimed that Bola Ahmed Tinubu got about 10,999,162 votes. And if you look at what brought him in as president during the last election was 8.79 million votes.
Yeah.
So you should know that what you're seeing now is just more like a breakdown of what you will see when it comes to 2027 general elections. You might likely see numbers flying around. For example, they said that in Adamawa they had about 644,000 votes.
Yeah.
In Imo State of all places, they have 582,000 votes. Gombe 450,000 votes. So I'm just looking at it and I'm laughing because we know the numbers in the last general election
Yeah.
for all this. So I think you should just know that this is a preamble. Nigerians might not know, but sometimes when a precedent is being set, you should have a proper understanding that if APC is telling us that they can have about 10 million, roughly 11 million votes from their direct primaries, they are telling you that they have 11 million secure vote already. That is from party faithfuls who will vote for them. Now, Imagine they now add other Nigerians who are not party faithfuls but are lovers of Bola Ahmed Tinubu's government into
Mhm.
it. You should know that the numbers could be reaching 20 million. So
Mhm.
this is just a benchmark they've put, a yardstick they've put down. What is the total number of votes that was recorded in this state in the last election? Ask yourself some of these states, and then you understand better what is happening. But I would say Bola Ahmed Tinubu was destined to return unopposed. I think for Osifo that was just there was just a preamble just to show that it was
Make it
not
not be like say
really,
nobody oppose her.
yeah, yeah. So it is who is Osifo. Nobody knew about him until he bought the form and came out.
He
And
tried
what
now,
was
he
his
got like
vote?
16,000 votes.
16,000 votes. And even
Yeah.
in his native Edo state, he just had only one vote. So you won't tell him he doesn't have a family member that believed in him. So that is just it. So you look at it and then you can only laugh. But the truth is, see, we should leave the era where we govern on promises and we campaign on promises when we are in office instead of campaigning on our achievement when we're in that or same office. I think for Bola Ahmed Tinubu is going to be judged a bit by Nigerians on what he said he would do. He said if he doesn't give us stable electricity in 4 years, we should not vote for him. And yesterday, during his acceptance speech, he was ruling out that the power generation is now at 60,000 megawatt, 6,000 megawatts. And I don't know whether some areas are having light, but I can't see the 6,000 megawatts because he said they've doubled it from 3,000 plus to 6,000. I can't see that in my area. So he
Arepa
said,
hasn't had light for 2 days now. So
mm, well, only God knows where the 6,000 megawatt is because Aso Villa itself is going solar fully. So I don't know where the light goes to. Another thing he spoke about is the fact that he's the gains of the economy. He prides himself highly on the fact that but we've not really seen the subsidy being gone in Nigeria. We've not seen that impact of subsidy being gone in Nigeria. It should trickle down to the citizens, but citizens are living in hardship. We have high inflation rate. Food inflation is high. If you look at the inflation rate month on month, it's recorded an increase from April to May. So inflation rate, food inflation is not going down, and this is what affects the life of an average Nigeria. So if he said we should judge him on what he has done. I think time will tell, Nigerians will tell whether he has actually done the right thing or not. I only have a vote, you only have a vote. But if the APC primary has concluded and they've returned President Bola Ahmed Tinubu as the flag bearer for the 2027 general election, I think it's now left to him to go around campaign, tell people what he has done, not promises made. I think people that will campaign on promises made are those in opposition who have not gotten the right to be in that office. But for him, we want him to campaign on achievement. Let's listen to achievement, what he has done. I know supporters and fans will tell us that, oh, he has done the student loan, that's the NEL fund loan. What else? Insecurity. Don't forget that we still have school children in Borno that were picked up. We have school children in Oyo, Uri local government that were picked up. We have worshippers who were picked up in Kwara State over the
yep.
weekend where 3 were killed, and their own governor was in Abuja there, gallivanting at the president, securing his own return ticket when he can't
Mhm.
secure the life of his citizens in Kwara. Don't forget the Woro bandit attack that happened in Kwara, northern part of Kwara. Some of
Mhm.
them are still being aired, not released yet. So if we are to start mentioning and naming things, it's going to be a whole lot. And uh, banditry, kidnapping seems to be on the high rise, and it's dangerous now because our students are being kidnapped. Students are being taken from place of learning, and when place of learning is made unconducive and unsafe for students, education becomes undesirable because safety is no longer guaranteed, and students have fear even learning. And when you learn in fear, it is very hard for you to learn anything. So these are the things that we need to be speaking about. How has security fared under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration? These are the scorecard he's going to give us. If he gives us this scorecard and his campaign is based on achievements, and please, I'm tired of campaign in Nigeria being based on dancing and abusing the opposition.
Mhm.
The fact that you call grown-up adults, I always feel like we are we should be intelligent, but we are only book intelligent and we are not intelligent in areas we ought to be. And that is my worry for us as a nation, not even as a nation, for us as a continent. See, colonization has eaten deep into our head that we see things from a colonial master perspective. And those who are our leaders see us as being, see themselves as our colonizer and see power as being absolute. That reflects in the kind of leadership we've had across board, all parties. That's when you tend to have leaders who doesn't take correction, leaders who are dictators, leaders who are authoritarian and who practice totalitarianism, which is very sad because it should be a democracy. But the truth, as Professor Pierre Lumumba will always say, is that we are never independent. Ask us, do we even care about our democracy? Do we care about the betterment of the country? Do we care about economic freedom? Or we care about us getting into power and taking a share of the cake? Those who were activists of yesterday, who are now in power, are now part of the cash TVs, who are bringing us into multidimensional poverty. I call all of them ambassadors of poverty, as Poet PCU may rightly put it in his poem. See, the truth about all this is the fact that we're speaking about this because Bola Ahmed Tinubu has been returned. But he made a lot of promises to Nigeria. He started the government on a high hope. Subsidy scam is gone. Well, if he says that he has made sure that the downstream sector of oil sector is good, and I think that has been set before he even came into power, because Dangote was up there, has gotten his license. Not only Dangote, some people got license to build refinery. Dangote came up with his own. So I think a whole lot is into it, and congratulations to him. He has won it. No opposition. Nobody will want to oppose a sitting president, except it is some will say except it is a president that does not have his house in order. I think he has the APC by the strand. And also, I would say my heart sympathy goes to about 64 House of Rep members who belong to the APC and are not returning. And they said the electoral law, because we have to talk about the fallout as we speak about the president getting the ticket. We have to talk about the fallout. And the fallout is going to be severe if care is not taken. Don't forget that in Nasarawa, former IGP Idris and Wadada have been slugging it out. Idris claimed that election was not done in 6 local governments where he was strong. Look at Wadada is the governor's preferred candidate. It's going to be a whole lot. Anti-party might happen. Let's speak about Oyo, our Minister of Power, who didn't give us power, also lost to Senator Ali. So it is going to be a lot.
The Foreign Affairs Minister also lost.
But yeah, Tugo also lost. So you look at it in Kwara State, governor endorsed Yaya Seriki. 24 hours later, pressure came. Governor endorsed another person. After governor tweeting that Yaya Seriki is his successor and that one came back to the state in style, visited the emir and the council. They've given it to Yakub Danladi. So it is going to be a whole lot. Incumbent in Kogi is fighting Yaya Bello for senatorial slot. Yeah. So it is going to be a whole lot of fallout with this consensus, because some have felt they deserve it, but they've been skimmed out of it. And in all of this, I see women also not being given a place in this, which is sad, because I felt like women should also have a place in our democracy. But for those of them that came out to contest and were denied or were skimmed out, I hope they have a fair hearing when they appeal. And I think it is even kudos to them for them to step out in this kind of democracy we practice. As the Green rightly put it, say democracy lele be crazy demo. So it is something that I think they've done their best, but it is such a shame because I've been following politics for a while, though I'm still young, and I think 2 things I had interest in as a kid was politics and sports, and I've been a devoted member to both, a cult follower of both. But I think I've not seen party primaries this worse and this bad. I've not seen in my life I think I mentioned one to you where I witnessed direct primary in 2019 that brought in Abdrazak Abdurrahman, where I knew how they counted it and where they announced it. But I think I've not seen how numbers move from 100 to 1,000. Even in
It's
the
exponential.
in the word of the deputy speaker, I've not
It's
seen how
exponential.
counting has been done that way. I think that is a slap on the face of our education system when
Yeah.
adults cannot even count 1 to 100. And I think part of the basics for your promotion back then when you move from preschool is you need to learn counting. Counting is very important,
We
and
have a
it's so
caller
sad.
by the well. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Madam Fumi.
Good
Good
morning,
morning, Mr.
Prince.
Emmanuel.
Good morning, Prince. How are
How
you?
are you today?
I'm good. How was your weekend?
Very well. We thank God. Mr. Emmanuel, first, I want to say this morning. You are bearing my name, so let me thank you for being a good citizen of this country who took time to read. If you don't read, because all your analysis, I find it difficult to ask you questions because I see that you know the information, you have them as it is. Thank you for putting that time out, not just to come on air and give a backing to whoever you want to. But you on every side, your analysis are spot on. Now, there is something you mentioned, and I want to ask a question on that. Average in Nigeria. Please, Mr. Manuel, for me, do we have an average citizen currently in Nigeria? It's either you are poor or you are above average. So, those days, we learned that we had 3 classes of citizens in the world or in Nigeria. But the middle class, do we still have them? Are we still in existence? Do we have any existence in that middle class? Not for those of us that God has blessed little. We are not there yet, but we are trying to. But yet forces are pulling down. Please, for me, I don't know if you voted for the APC primaries. Mr. Mano, how do you count in schools? Should I call it nursery rhyme? Do we have number 1, then have 20, 30, 50, 100, 1,000? How do you make your counting? Is this the shenanigans that we are going to continue? I know that some people will defend this and congratulate Tinubu. I want to ask again, please, Nigerians hearing me. Who contested with Tinubu that they did primary for? Who is Osifo? Where is he from? Do we not understand the game? Who bought the form for him? When did they announce that Osifo bought from for 100 million naira? Where is Osifo background? When did Osifo join the APC? Why are they deceiving people now? Is this why we want to build the country to become a nation? Is this the kind of healing that we are looking for? Should they continue? Those women, for me, you have been advocating for women, whatever. See you see your women? Eh? Do you see the tale of your women, what they are giving back to the society? When are we going to live? Okay, if you do now agree that poverty has become weaponized to the extent that people don't have conscience anymore, people can no longer use their own sensitivity, their own understanding to reject people. Should we not think this is now appearing that light? Are we going to accept the fact that Nigerians have come to stay with normality of evil? Where are we driving ourselves to? The women that are queuing up and they are counting you were laughing, clapping. They will count you from number 1 to number 20. You will clap. Hey, you are shouting in the sun. Why your children cannot even go to, they cannot afford public school. Majority of the children on the road today, vagabonds, they're not strangers, so they are not strangers, so a million cost he has expiring date, and the more we tolerate this kind of thing, the more the future become blank. Because those people that are doing it, they don't even have what they are driving themselves to. Not to talk of their children. I have somebody in my to face. The children are out of school. Pardon me. I'm not saying anything to bring pain. But the word I heard is school na scam from a parent. A father, hello, Nigerian, and he has 2 sons. No school, 3 girls. Where are we going to? Should I begin to cry? Look at the innocent children kidnapped who wanted to even go to school. Kidnapped, they are still in the forest. Should I cry this morning? I leave Nigeria. Let me save my tears for Jesus.
Thank you so much, Prince, for your contribution. I mean, and everything you said. Yeah, you just basically reiterated the things that Emmanuel said this morning. For me, Emmanuel, my concern is we can see the corruption that's happening in the primaries. We can see the miscalculation, all the things that are happening. Which mouth do they now want to use to discipline kids in school who cheat in exams? How? Because that's one of the things that kids like. Because to even go to the next headline, let's just even go to the next headline, which is this TikTok person, this person who decided that he's going to kill the police arrested a man for staging fake bandit attack video to gain TikTok followers. And if there's anything that I've been very, very vocal on, and I'm still I'm still going to be vocal on, is that there are no consequences to actions in Nigeria. Also, it seems like it's only the rich that get protection. Till today, we've not seen anybody arrested that has been responsible for the abductions that have been going on across the country. Like you rightly said, it is now the rate of banditry and terrorism and kidnap has gone higher and higher. Like somebody will say Nigeria is at war. Whenever she says, I just like somebody. But at this point, but nobody in governance is talking about this. So now you're arresting somebody that created false video. They will now charge him to court. What is the point of it? Because everybody is trying to say, well, let me quickly, because they are seeing government officials who are doing, who are cheating, who are corrupt. I don't, Emmanuel, over to you, because it passed me.
See, there is consequences for action in Nigeria. There's consequences for action. Ask a poor man.
That's it.
There's consequences for action. And ask a rich man who has fallen out with the ruling class. There's always consequences for action.
Yeah, go and ask Erufai.
So the consequence might be right or wrong, but there's always consequences for action in Nigeria, except you are in tune with powers that be. There's consequences for action. See, Prince asked about the term average Nigeria. And when we use the term average Nigeria, it's just a figurative expression to look at the thinking of Nigeria as a group and come to the median. Is it median they call average now? Or the midpoint? Average. And then
median, yeah.
Yeah, and then we pick it and then we speak based on that, because we cannot speak on the generality of Nigeria. If we say 90%, we are referring to a B class. So we combine cultural, socio-politics, socio-economy, we combine everything together to do that. But back to your question and the TikToker. See, I was speaking to someone, was it last week? And the person was asking me that why do we have vices on the rise, and why do young people want to do things, expose their body, do things? And I said that we behave like a third world, but third world is the state of the mind. And until we change our attitude as Africans or as Nigeria, we will be in it. We've seen celebrity and fame from the wrong perspective. We've seen people who are without moral compass in the society through the power of social media blown and become celebrated. We've seen people who add nothing to the society, whether moral-wise, ethically, and we've seen the goodies of social media fall into their palms. But I don't envy them, because I believe in the scripture a lot, and the Bible says, I will have mercy upon who I have mercy on. It's God that had mercy on them. But how they use the mercy of God lies with them and God. We've seen people who speak, and when they speak, you see nothing. in their head, but absolute rubbish being celebrated. And I don't know why Bible is coming. And now, so it makes me understand why he said that I've seen servants on horses and princes
Yeah.
on foot, because they've taken over the affairs, and that is why you see them leading. And when servants lead, it becomes hard for prince or kings to rule.
Mm-hmm.
So who are now the slaves? Those who ought to be kings and queens. Sorry, I'm speaking a bit of Proverbs
Parable.
this morning.
But
I
I
don't
understand you
understand.
clearly.
Mhm. So these are the kind of situation we find ourselves. So when you see people who have done a whole lot of things, see, go on socials, you see a lot of pranksters,
Mm.
and they are being celebrated for doing
Mhm.
pranks that are harmful, for doing pranks that
Yeah.
has no moral standing in society.
Yeah.
So you see a young man who lives in the village and who is battling a whole lot of poverty and is looking like, if my TikTok can blow, I can become a
I
celebrity.
can make
Brands
it.
can come to me,
Yeah.
and then I can. And he starts using the insensitivity of our society
Nigerians.
to trend, because a lot of all these, I call them as accidental celebrities, use the insensitivity of Nigerians and make it a joke to trend. And I cry because my people, we are always laughing when we should be crying, and we cry when we should be laughing. The irony of a society not thinking in a forward manner. It is so sad, because morally we have to rearm ourselves. We have this dicey, this crazy situation that we are battling with, where we are talking about elders farmers clash, we are having bandit farmers clash, bandit and elders clash. We have given it different names in the society, and you wake up and you are making a joke of that. Should we say he finds himself in the wrong society or he finds himself in the wrong place? No. They say tí wọ́n bá kọ́ ẹ, wàá tún rẹ̀ kọ́. The chase for fame by certain demography of youth in this country is not doing us well. And why is it not doing us well? We have a set of wrong role model in the society. So this is the situation. Should we say that we find ourselves in this? It's just people trying to make fame, and fame falling on the wrong fame in Nigeria falling to the wrong people who have no moral in the society. So for the young man, he has tried to kill a mosquito with an hammer, and now the hammer of the law will fall on him. So he has to bear the consequence with his group. Faking banditry attack in a country as sensitive as Nigeria. Was it on Saturday or on Friday? I can't even remember. I was somewhere and then I was hearing that people were calling. They said that don't be outside till 9 p.m. Something wants to happen. I'm like, why do we live in a society where we, I don't even know, oh no, how I can put it. If I'm saying that we live in a country where most of our ladies have attained puberty and they cannot afford sanitary pads, but our leaders who does not know how to use iPads are using them. Irony of a country. Mm. Basically, I think Nigerians are now saying that we need to learn how to count because basically that's where they've been counting our cash, our money for a while. We just don't understand until they started counting people the same way they've been counting money, and this is what we have now. But the truth is, back to our discussion on the society, and Evangelist Dixon was right, and I think Izzy Olushoga also spoke about the moral compass in society. See, it's at an all-time low. I don't judge people, but I always have this phrase that I don't know how beautiful you are until we have a conversation. The beauty of any human being is not even physical because physical beauty goes, but the inner beauty is the best. When you have a conversation with someone, you see the beauty in them. But a lot of what we have that set the standard and that we seek validation for are men and women who have no moral compass in the society and no moral standing. And it's a shame because number one, parents are also in on this. Parents want fame for their children. Parents want someone who will take them away from generational poverty. But moving away from poverty is not something that is done within a single generation. A generation takes a step. That is why when you look at your life, you are far better than your fathers. For those who are not better than their fathers, they need to work hard. I look at my grandfather's life and look at my father's life, I see a clear difference. And the goal is that, see, when I was growing up, there's a statement my dad will always tell us: I have a name to protect. I thought it was a joke until I became a grown-up teenager that I understood the fact. Anything you do, my father will tell you, I have a name to protect. And at his old age, he has protected that name. No scandal, nothing. It's now left for us to continue to protect the name. If we don't want to protect the name, I bear Emmanuel, it doesn't bear Emmanuel. So if there's anything with the Olonade son, they know it's Emmanuel, not Samuel. So that is the irony. But nowadays, parents don't have time to teach their children. Parents are all gone. The teaching of children lies solely on the school, and that is why the school will charge you. I think I was at Shasha one day and I was leaving around 5 a.m. and I saw school bus for primary school with students inside, some of them sleeping. And I was saddened, and I'm like, when I was in primary school, they will come and beat us from that bed past 6 to go and dress up. They will come and beat you. And sometimes, God bless you, maybe your parents are busy, they are running around preparing food, and then they look at the time, 7 o'clock, you are still sleeping. But nowadays, 5. And then those children will not return home until 7, 7:30. See, our educational system is so spoiled, and we keep saying this thing. See, if you look at your certificate, haven't been found worthy in character comes first and learning. But nowadays, the character is not there, the learning is there. That's why we have book smart people, book smart people. But what are the book smart people? Book smart people who don't even know their history, who don't even know their culture. Nowadays, our pride of going to school is our children not being able to speak our mother's tongue, mother's language. Colonial mentality that I was speaking about. Ask them, when last did they even read a literary book by a Nigerian with Shakespeare their life? They don't even know who Chino Achebe is. They don't even know who Wole Soyinka is, except they see him on screen. They don't even know who they don't even know who Dennis Chukwudi Osadebe is. They don't even know who Ken Saro-Wiwa. They don't even know who these people are. See, we've so foreignized, is there a word for that, Jesus? We've so foreignized our learning, that what we see now is things that don't give us morals. And our morals come from our culture, because our culture is deeply rooted in morals. But when we abandon the literary works, when we abandon the works that gives us culture, we follow people who are empty, but mercy has fallen at their doorstep. They've become accidental celebrity, and they've not been able to maintain it. Now, social media has made it easier for anybody without moral compass to become a voice that people listen to. And that shapes the thinking of children who are still in their formative years. So it's so sad, because we speak to these morals, but a lot of factor is actually putting this together, actually working together to give us where we are as a nation. So for the young man, as I've said, he has taken an hammer into a mosquito fight, and now the hammer must fall on his head with his colleagues. You don't be insensitive based on numbers, based on few, and then you do things that can harm, cause public disturbance, cause a whole lot of things in the society. What a sad way for an adult, even if you have not been to the 4 walls of the school. Morals, knowledge is not learned only within the 4 walls of the school, it's learned within the society. And I think it should be made a scapegoat, so that people who are raising false alarm in a society that is on the edge, in a society that people are living on the any small wheel, people start running hectare-scatter. So now it should be made to face the full wrath of the law, and there's always consequences. Because what brought us to this was a question: is there consequences for action? There's always consequences for action, but most times for the poor man, not for the rich man. And we can only hope that the rich man also gets consequences for his own action also. But it's so sad, and I think as a nation we need to do better, because insecurity. If you say an overall, yes, an overall of our thinking, an overall of our character, an overall of our level of exposure. See, when you wake up, number one, I think I've said this before. When someone asked me 2023 election, and a classmate of mine, about 2 of them, said, we're close, we talk, and then said, who are you voting for? I said, oh, this is a candidate, and I was analyzing candidate, and he said, but if you are from here, you should not even be analyzing candidate before you make a decision. You should just vote because you are from this part. And I'm like, if you're asking me to vote based on my ethnic affiliation, then that means I should not have gone to school at all. That is the crazy thing. I went to school, and because of that, we don't talk again. Because I see, I told them point blank, I see you as someone that I feel like we should sit down and analyze candidates. I've not even made a decision then. But you telling me that based on ethnic affiliation, I should vote for a candidate. So when I tell you that we are book smart, but we lack knowledge, we lack intelligence. Most of the people that produce that goes says religious bigotry, ethnic bigotry, they've been to the four walls of the classroom, but their mind is not open. But by that time, I'll be a champion. Don't worry. Yeah, don't worry.